Lord didn't want me to avoid it, but basically asked me to get my testimony again this week, and just a little bit about my life and how I came into relationship with Christ. At a young age, I started off using drugs, around 13 or so, and I grew up in a church house, but didn't have a relationship with God. I basically was going a churchgoer, like a lot of people are, but it's not about going to church; it's about your relationship with Christ. Not only that, I was living in a household with a bunch of functioning addicts, which I thought I could be, which doesn't work out like that. And as everybody knows, sin matures and progresses. And as I started to get older, by the age of 17, I was on more hardcore kind of things, and progressed into a lot stronger drugs. By the time I was 19, I had a near-death experience. They said I did overdose. I blacked out and ended up in the hospital. And in that period of time I was in the hospital, I ended up just signing paperwork while I was there and got admitted into MHRC, the Mental Health Resource Center. During that period of time, I was in there and I thought I was around a bunch of crazy people, but really I was a crazy one. We think that we're crazy for putting ourselves in here, but we're the ones that made the choices to put ourselves there. So we're the really crazy ones. But as soon as I stepped out of there, I thought that was enough, but obviously it wasn't. I went right back to my life of addiction. By the age of 19, into the age of 20, I had flipped a vehicle with no seatbelt on, and I walked away with it. Only by God's grace and His mercy. I walked away with nothing, no harm, and ended up getting put on a probationary period for that period of time. And even during that probationary period, it was still not enough for me. I was still using during that period of time. After that, I got done with that. I actually inherited a whole bunch of money and just started working party with the money that I received. It just progressed. The sin continues to mature until it leads to death, and I thank God that it didn't lead to death in the book. By the age of 21, 6 months later, I had committed some things that ended up with me with a 4-year sentence in prison. Something that I hope that nobody has to experience, but it was something that God had put me through to bring me into a relationship with Christ. During that period of time, that's when I accepted Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior. That's when I started my turnaround of life as of who I needed to be, but little did I know that it wasn't about who I needed to be, it's who He needed me to be. So as soon as I had been released from that, it says in Ecclesiastes, don't make a vow that you cannot pay. I made vows with God to find some opportunity to help people with addiction, whatever it might be. And towards that period of time when I was about to be released, I asked people about that, and doors got shut in my face because I had it. So I just let it go and started my life. Try to go back to doing things the right way. And I thought that I could just drink for a period of time, but that's the insanity right there. We think that we can do different things with different outcomes, we do things a different way with different outcomes, but it don't work. And I was holding on to things also that I thought that I could hold on to and still have a relationship with God, and that's not how it works either. You have to give your whole heart. I thank God that He sees my heart, because if it wasn't for that, and His grace and His mercy, I wouldn't be standing before you all today. Through that period of time, I actually ended up meeting a nice girl, and started thinking that and I ended up at school, going to school for cosmetology. All these things were being put in my path as a blessing, and I was acknowledging them. I thank God that I had an opportunity to go to school, even coming from where I came from. I was able to go to school and have a good job and all this stuff, and all these things were put in my path, and then I stopped acknowledging Him that He was the one giving it to me. So after that, things just started going back downhill. I lost my job. I had a good job with benefits. I was in school, I had a good girl, 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house I was living in, and everything just started going back downhill. Everything just started falling out of the palms of my hands. And it was because I was taking my focus off of who matters the most and putting it into my girlfriend, whatever it might have been, everything, money, pride. It's a lot of things that cause us to get distracted from what we need to be focused on. Then it finally came down to the point where my ex had left me at the beginning of the year, and I just went into a deep stage of depression, anxiety, and everything, trying to fill that void with more and more. I actually started intravenously using things. I'm not going to go into too depth about that. You all know what it is, but and basically, just started doing anything and everything to fill a void that could not be filled inside of me. The only thing that could fill your void inside of you is that relationship with Christ, is that spirit dwelling inside. And that's what gives you the real peace and the joy and the love, that you need to know and be able to walk in everyday struggles. I was also on prescription drugs to deal with anxiety and depression. That everyday life, everybody has anxiety and depression to deal with. But we give up an excuse for anything, use whatever. So and then it finally just came to the point where I was completely broken, and God intervened at the exact right time. Actually, I won't see Cody or Corey here today, but Cody and Corey came to the detox center, and that's when Set Free was put in my life. And I thank God for Set Free. I thank God for Pastor. I thank God for Pastor, Faith, of Awesomeness Glory, everybody. This is truly a blessing. And like I said, God's an on-time God. You don't need to start paying attention to that, man, because and put your whole heart into it, because He looks at your heart. And basically it came to my point where I ended up here at Set Free, and now it's to the point where God's restoring things, and I'm not on any prescription medication anymore. My family's been restored back in my life. I've worked bridges and broke relationships that are being mended and built back again. It's just an awesome thing. And I encourage everybody, just to be real about this, man. And just show your heart. Put your whole heart into it. Give it all in, because that's what He's looking at. We can all talk it, but walking is the big thing, and that's the hard part too. But He does give you strength to get through it. But yeah, that's just a little bit of my testimony.